Welcome to Wake Up Call with Corinna. Today is the last week of February. I hope you're having a I hesitate saying good because it's been really weird right now, but I do hope you had a good week. I am back, sort of. Last week I was just not in the place to be able to do this video. And I'm okay with that. There are times where just need to take a break. Most of it was personal stuff, and I had to engage in a arena that I do not do on a regular basis. And it took me out a little bit. So I'm learning to deal with that arena. I'm fine when it has to do with other people. I can step in this arena with other people very easily, but when it comes to myself or someone in my family, I lose it. And I think the reason I lose it is because there are so many contradictions in this arena, which shouldn't be there because it's there to serve you and for your health, etc. And yet it is crazy. So anyway, so I'm back at the Crystal Shrine today, Wednesday, and the topic of today has shifted quite a bit and quite often. I think what I'm hearing, the end result is that we need to talk about overwhelm. It seems very apropos. Overwhelm. And what's your sign of needing to regain some sense of safety when there's overwhelm? So there's lots of different categories of overwhelm. There's obviously the personal, emotional, psychic, toxic, needs tos, should haves, should do, right? All these things, all these responsibilities. We all know we're way overloaded all the time, okay? And we have to get out. So I'm getting out myself. I am going to Texas in 2 days to get out. Very, very necessary. And what I was reflecting in my dealings with this past week is I'm still not very good with contradictions. I'm still way too literal for my own good. I really am working on it. It's in progress. But it does take it out of me. And the older I get, the more literal I seem to be. And the more I am hoping for congruency in what the person is saying and what I'm feeling from them, what they're actually thinking. It's just crazy making. Now you may have a totally different button, but contradiction is mine. Find out what yours is. One word. That'll help. It'll help, I promise. So find that one word. So what do you do that works when you're overwhelmed? On the spiritual side, there is no overwhelm, really, okay? There is comfort in the flow and the ebbs that goes on. However, that's not really human way of doing things. in the human realm and the human way of doing things, we start getting very reactive, and oddly enough, we start isolating more. We take on more tasks when we're already overwhelmed, which is very interesting. You may be one of those to consider. And so why do we do that? Isn't it a bizarre thing? If our psyche is always doing its best to keep us safe, and it'll do that in different ways. For example, I just had a reading here today, and this young woman was being directed to quit her job. She was being directed to do something in another type of genre, and yet she was completely self-sabotaging. Sorry. Okay, never mind. She was and oh, by the way, if you're sending me a message while I'm talking, there ain't no way I'm going to see it today. At least right now. So bear with me. I don't have my glasses and I don't want to multitask. So I will get to your questions, comments later after the video is done. I promise. If I'm not responding to you, don't hate me. Okay. So she was being guided to go to a whole nother place and quit her job and da 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 da. But she was freaking out and paralyzed by lack of clarity. We've all been there, right? So what's necessary in those moments, and as she was guided, was to find what the next step is. It isn't always about quitting your job, blah, 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 blah. A lot of time is do nothing until you know your next step. Yes, that was an impersonation of a TV show back in the 70s. So sometimes we just need to sit still and chill out and let our mental process happen a little bit before we do anything. Okay? And not just to make sure we're doing the right thing. It's nothing to do with that. It's really about, do we have a partnership with our mind about what our next step is? So her guidance, just an example, maybe it'll help understand, was to go out. She wanted to do some songwriting, so the suggestion was to go in public and share her stories in an open mic night. So it's not with music, but it's at least expressing something that was very important, very passionate in her heart, and she's never shared it in a way that was comfortable. So there's a practice, there's the next step, right? So long before she quits her job and has no income, and then you go into a whole nother fear level, which will keep you even more locked in what you need to do, or locked out of your clarity. These are the kinds of steps that we need to take. So for me, when I was in my overwhelm recently, this part of the step was I knew, and it wasn't just this particular week, it's been a little bit of a build-up. This month has been very odd. The beginning of the year has been even odder. Stuff is coming down hard. So, and it's totally cool, and we need to get through it. And so my step in when I didn't do anything and just kind of sat in it for just a bit, it was that I needed stimulation because of where I was going in my own nonsense, right? So I needed positive stimulation. So that's when I literally picked up this class, and it's getting my nerd on because I am taking a kinesiology taping class, which I already know how to do intuitively, and I have had some training in it. However, it's fairly technical, definitely intuitive, but fairly technical. It's going to feed, just having that part of my brain fed is going to feed the other part of me, my soul, my mental status, my mental health. And I'm going to this specific one, and I pushed myself to go on all levels, financially, time-wise. Love traveling, especially now with all the crud that's out there. But I pushed myself because I also get to stay with a family who are a bunch of happy jelly beans. And I really need that right now. So I'm going to explore. And so that was my sign. For me, when I ask what's your sign, not your personal sign, I'm a Sagittarius. What's your sign when it's time to make an action to clear the slate? Sometimes when you're looking at it, and there's usually consistencies, for whatever reason, I'm jumping, sorry. For whatever reason, this particular time, my signs were breaking things. I was breaking things left and right. Crazy, stupid. Like, this never happens to me. Dropping glass. What else did I break? I don't know. Just like things have been breaking around me, right? My car was in the shop. I mean, it was just, it's like, okay, cool, I get it. That's my sign when I need to get out of my space, literally. And so last week I posted a picture of broken glass or cracking glass, because that's kind of symbolic to where I was. So there is often a need on the human realm for resolution to overwhelm to be physical. We can do the meditations, we could do the herbal teas and things like that, and that's part of it. Although I think that there is some resistance to smacking a tennis racket against the pillow, or actually having some physical release. Now, mind you, I love the sound of breaking glass. I love it. I just want it to be on purpose. I want it to be because I'm releasing something, not because I'm being clumsy. So think about what your sign is. Maybe you haven't paid attention. There are times when we even just refuse to listen, and that's okay. That's part of the process, and we have to accept that as well. There are also times, as with some of my clients this week, where when the poop hits the fan, it's just gonna stink for a while. It's just gonna stink. And part of the work is just letting you do that. And so you don't try to escape, you don't try to excuse, you don't try to blame, we don't try to cover up, right? So last week, crappy week for me. I'm not going to come on here and tell you, oh yeah, things are great, and so let's talk about something. It's just not me. I know a lot of people can do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. When my physical stuff comes up, because I have as a practitioner, I have people who kind of depend on me to be healthy. When I'm not feeling well, I shut my business down for that moment, because I can't not. I just can't not. Not great for my pocketbook, not great for my business. However, it's consistent and congruent and ethical for me. And that's what I have to do for me. So, so check in to see what your signs are of overwhelm, and then consider doing something that you don't normally do in order to get out of it. Do something that's a little out of the norm for you to go to, because here's the thing. When you start doing the same thing every time, your body gets bored with it. The body and the mind, the psyche, is the worst. ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, and all those things put together. It's the worst. It gets bored of things all the time. It wants new things all the time. That's why in this biohacking field that I'm in, there's never the same answer. It can't be, because the body, the mind, the spirit, the psyche, and the biology always want to learn more, learn different. So if you're giving it the same thing all the time, it's going to stop working. It just is. Even on the good things, all right? So bad things, meaning if you supplement with substances, if you have to take a pharmaceutical, those things all stop working. The saturation point starts hitting in and they don't resolve like they used to. So you need more, and you need more, and you need more. Now, vitamins can do the same thing. There are many, many, many times when I check my clients' vitamins and what's working for their bodies, that they'll have to get new products. And part of that is because they stop working. They just do. The body gets tired of them, or their potency reduces. And why would you take a supplement that's supposed to help you if the potency is only 20% out of 80, 90, or 100, right? So this is not unfamiliar in my life or in my practice, and so I just want to put it out there and mention it. And the times when I have asked clients about these products because the potency for them is really, really low, and they go, oh gosh, I've been taking that for 10 years. Okay, but the offering is that it stops working. After a while, your body just gets used to it and wants something new. So, but isn't it interesting? Oh, I could go on so many social tangents just with that one thing, and maybe that'll be our next talk. All right, so if you have run out of possible things to do on how to take care of your mental state when you're on overwhelm, give me a call. I'll come up with a few good things for you, because I like doing that. And partly is because I don't have to think them up. Your body's going to tell me. Or I'm going to be guided to tell you something that you probably heard already, but you just ignored it. Because we do that too. All right. So, I wanted to mention that this month, on the third Wednesday, here in Burbank, in person, is my daily spirituality talk workshop. And this time it's going to be about play. So I'm going to go play this weekend, so I have some things to talk about. Remind myself too. All this stuff that I'm talking to you about, I'm just really talking to myself, and I literally am, because the monitor's in front of me. However, I know it's important, because I know I'm not the only one dealing with this stuff. And I have never presented that I am perfect or even close to it in any way. So I hope this has been helpful. I really, really do want you to take some time and look for your signs, but also consider ways of action to get out of it. some action to get out of it. Okay? Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. And yep, let me know if I can help you. I'm going to read your comments because see the squinty face? I don't think you want to see the squinty face, do you? What was the question? Reflect back on calm or enjoyable experiences. Cool. Yes. Oh, okay. So this is why meditation visualizations work, because the brain accepts them to be true. So yes, visualizing a calmer, nicer place, memory or such like that will totally help. It does calm the nervous system down, brings the adrenaline down. However, there must be an action at some point. Okay, some point. Because ultimately what will happen is that picture will override temporarily what's going on, but it's not a solution. Does that make sense? And I hope that does. Those are two very different things, and it is necessary to do both. Okay, so thank you. No more squinty face from me, and I will see you next Wednesday. And if you have any questions, if I can help you in any way, let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to go get my nerd on, get inspired, and go and change my overload. Take care. Have a great day.